all right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back for another week of Just a Fan Podcast. I'm the quarter host, NFL Encyclopedia, that runs this thing, and the Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, Coach Williams. That direction, you already know who he is because he's on here almost every time. Pando 316.
Tomorrow's forever away. What you gonna give me tonight? If you're not pissed off for greatness, then you okay with being mediocre. Okay, let's go.
That's right. And then down below, now this the quarterback who runs the thing. See, I'm the Wildcat quarterback that runs the thing. See, it's a difference.
These come in different packages.
That's right. See, I'm a package quarterback. This is the real deal right here down below. Trish TV, man, what's up?
You muted, Tristan.
Well, anyway, while we wait for him to come through and say something, whatever. We have a special ghost. We have a special
My
ghost.
bad. My daughter took my phone. What's going on, everybody?
Bye.
As you can hear in the background,
Man.
trying to take
Yeah.
over.
Bye.
Hey, look, man. Hey, look, man. She represents Ruthless Records, man. Bone Thugs and Harmony for life. Let's go. Anyway, what I was gonna say. Oh yeah. So if you look in the title, it says AFC South Rankings with a special guest. This young man, he's in a NFL Marco Polo thanks to Pando 316. He's a Houston, Texas fan. Name is Joe. What's up, Joe?
What's going on? Pleasure to be with y'all fellas tonight, man.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being willing to join us.
So let me take it from here, Brandon. So
Go for it.
This week begins our 8-week series where we talk about we make the drafts over. The bulk of free agency is over, even though there are some really good free agents that are available that can strengthen some rosters. But this is an 8-week series where we talk about specific divisions and we start making our picks based on what they done in free agency, what they did last year, coaching hirings and firings, what they did in the draft, and we talk about it. This is where we make our picks. So you can hold us to it at the end of the season. If hey, they was right. Oh man, they was way off. It's okay because we're not Nostradamus. But we're making educated guesses. We're making picks, and this starts our first in the series. We're going with the AFC South, and we'll go on until we finish all of the divisions. And by the time we finish all the divisions, preseason will have started, and it's just trying to put our money where our mouth is. So what we're doing new this year is we're going to try to have a guest every week.
We're going to try.
We're going to try our best to have a fan every week from a team that is represented that we're talking about tonight on that particular night. So, for example, if you like to come on and talk about your team, let us know. Shoot us a DM, whatever. Say, hey, I'd like to come on when y'all talk about the AFC West. I'm a Raiders fan. I'm looking at you, honey. I like to talk about the this, that, and the third. Right. See, West. See, there she talking about the Lakers. We talking about football. It's football. So, but basically, if you like to come on as a guest, you could be a YouTube influencer. We'll prop up your channel, or you could be just getting started. We'll talk about your channel and get you some subscribers. You bring some subscribers with you, and you bring your opinions, your educated opinions, by the way. Don't just be like, we finna win it all because we good. We don't do that here. We don't do that, okay?
Yeah, this is Just a Fan Podcast.
But we are encouraging people to come on. We're having guests every week for probably the next 8 weeks, okay? And if you're a Saints fan and you want to talk about the Saints and you're a Falcons fan, we might have y'all on it at the same time.
Hey,
we might have Eagles and Cowboys fans on here. We might have Niners and Rams fans, but really, what's really a Rams fan? Let's be honest.
Oops.
But anyway, let's get down to the meat of our topic for tonight. We're talking about the AFC South. My man Joe is a Houston Texans fan. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna start with who we think is going to be our number 4 team, the team that'll finish dead last in the AFC South. We're gonna give different opinions, and we're gonna talk about why we feel that way. Okay, so we're gonna start.
You going first?
When we gonna get them? That's our guess right there.
I understand that, but you're going first. We're gonna bring him along. We're gonna bring him in along slowly. You start first.
All right. Well, I'll start. My number 4 team, this is going to be really unpopular. Jameson Owens, if you're watching right now, you're probably going to be mad at me, but the Tennessee Titans is my number 4 team in the AFC South going into 2023. And here's my rationale behind it. You got a Derrick Henry who's starting to slow down. The tread's wearing off the tires. Ryan Tannehill's still your quarterback. You drafted Will Levis, but let's be honest. Is Will Levis really finna come out there and just do the damn thing this year? You don't have an alpha dog receiver on your team. And the defense is going to be okay because you still got Vrabel coaching. But when you compare that to what's going on at the top of the division, I'm not going to give it the spoilers, but the other 3 teams in the division, they're going to be doing a little bit better than Tennessee. I think Tennessee's going to take they're going to take a big step back, and they're going to be 4th in this division. Now, that's not saying a whole lot because basically this division, sorry, Joe, was one of the worst divisions in football last year. Okay, the division was won by a 9-8 team.
Oh yeah.
So you know it's wide open. The division's wide open. So when I say a team is number 4 in a division like this, that doesn't mean that they're gonna be trash. And hell, they could honestly, the team I picked 4th could win it, and the team that I picked 1st could lose it.
Mm-hmm.
So because it's just that wide open. You got some divisions where it's like, ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. But this division could go any way. But if you asking me, gun to my head, number 4 in this division, I'm picking the Tennessee Titans because Ryan Tannehill is still your quarterback.
All right, Joe, are you ready to go?
You know what? I'm gonna let you go real quick because I want to piggyback off of both of y'all because it's certain things that Eric said that kind of tie into what I wanted to talk about with the Texans.
Okay, all right. So now let me go with who I got number 4. I also have Tennessee number 4, but let me go a little bit deeper into it. So Tannehill's still the quarterback. It's clear he's no longer the future. The last time Tennessee was in the playoffs, they sacked the heck out of Joe Burrow like 8 or 9 times, but yet Tannehill threw 3 interceptions, and that's what lost them the game.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to draft Malik Willis at quarterback. Sound good at the time to be the future quarterback of the future face of quarterback of the future for the franchise. But your GM gets fired in the middle of the season because it sounded like the head coach Vrabel and the GM Robinson were at odds. So to me, it sounded like Willis might have been the GM, more of a GM pick, more so than a head coach pick, because what I'm hearing is Tennessee's not happy with Willis. And so you draft Will Levis in round 2 this year. Mm-hmm. So you don't know what you're doing. You don't have a clear-cut quarterback of the future, even though right now I guess it's going to be Will Levis, even though they said Will Levis is number 3, so they're going to make him earn it. But eventually Will Levis is going to be in the starter because they had to see what he is. Running back, you said Derrick Henry is falling apart. The running back they drafted out of Tulane, Ty Sharp.
Oh boy,
he has
about that. Go ahead with that.
Hey, listen to this. He does not listen to this when I say this. He does not have an ACL in his knee. Let me say that again. He does not have an ACL in his knee, and he has arthritis. The last time a running back had arthritis in the knee was Todd Gurley, and we got 4 great years out of him with an additional 2 wasted years out of him. Okay, and when it comes to arthritis, that's bone. We ain't talking about muscle. We ain't talking about ligament. We're talking about bone. You gonna ask this man to play 17 games with bad knees? I just don't see him holding up. So you don't have a quarterback. Your quarterback situation is in flux. Your running back situation is in flux. Like Eric said, you don't have much of a wide receiver. I don't know who your tight end is. You lost left tackle Tyler Lewan. Your defense, you have Simmons, Byard. I think you drafted another DB, and that's fine and all, but I don't see Tennessee. They're not put together right. They're not structured. They're not well put together. Their foundation is broken. That's what I want to say. Their foundation is broken, and I can't see Vrabel lasting too much longer. I know no one is talking about it, and I'm usually the type of person that thinks too far ahead of everybody else, and that's the case. Fine, I will stand on the mountain by myself, but I think Vrabel is going to be. If it's not going to be this year. But if things don't turn around by 2024, I think Vrabel's gone.
Yeah. Vrabel is almost overstayed his welcome there, the same way Doc Rivers has overstayed his welcome in most of the teams that he coaches. So, so the thing is, I would pick the Tennessee Titans as my fourth slot for them to be in the AFC next year, finishing in fourth in the AFC next year. And I'm going to keep it simple because it seems to be that they don't know what they want to do.
Okay. Can you elaborate on that?
They really don't know what they want to do at the quarterback position. I don't think, and this goes to me talking about my Texans, but I highly doubt that they really wanted to draft Will Levis. It was rumored that they were trying to get into the sweepstakes of the Arizona pick, and everything, and the Texans just wind up outbidding them. So I think, when Indianapolis went on ahead and got Richardson and, we chose CJ Stroud, I think they looked at it and said, hey, look, this is the only thing that we have to at least try to salvage the season because apparently, they don't really like. So, let's go ahead and let's get Will Levis. I don't believe that they really wanted Will Levis like that, but at the same time, they got it. That's who they wanted to go with. And I just don't think they know what they want to do, man. I think, like you said, the running back Derrick Henry is losing a lot of tread on his wheels, man. So, he'll be gone in a few. They don't have an alpha dog at wide receiver. So, who is Will Levis going to throw to? Who does he have? I mean,
Other team.
Exactly. Interception City. So, at the end of the day, I don't think they really know what they want to do. I think they're gonna actually really go into a rebuild. You know what I'm saying? I think it's time
the same thing.
They're gonna go into a rebuild. So for that alone, that's a number 4 slot in the AFC.
AFC South. Three of us have chose Tennessee. Tristan, you ready to go?
Yep. I also have the Titans at number 4. Really, I don't even have to say much. It's really along the same reasons. You got an aging running back that's a bruiser. At some point, that body's gonna wear down completely. It's a miracle that he's even been productive this long in itself. Ryan Tannehill, you've kind of seen the limit of Ryan Tannehill. He ain't gonna get no better than what you see, which means your offense is basically going to be similar to what you saw last year because you didn't make any huge adjustments to your offense. You let go of Tyler Lewan, that was your left tackle, and I understand that to a sense, but you didn't really. I know they drafted that kid, but Tyler Lewan was a Pro Bowler for you guys for a number of years. I would have tried to establish a little more of a veteran presence on that side of the line. Your defense is pretty much the same, and you have a disgruntled All Pro safety. So that's not really going to pay dividends for you. You really needed a edge rusher, especially because of the athleticism of all the quarterbacks in your division. And yet that wasn't really addressed. You're kind of coming back the same. You're almost like the Minnesota Vikings of the South in a sense. You just didn't really do that much. And you have an average quarterback that you're trying to convince the league that he's more than that. He's not. So I'm not going to be surprised to see Will Levis at some point in the season because your season's going to go pretty average, and then you're going to say we need to make a splash. Who's the expendable one out of everybody? It's going to be Ryan Tannehill. So Will Levis is going to start. He's probably not going to be ready, and it's going to be a struggling season. I didn't think about the Mike Vrabel situation like Brandon did, but it wouldn't shock me too much because after a while, things just kind of go stale. I personally think that he is the reason that Marcus Mariota's career went the way it went because you cannot put a round peg in a square hole, and that's exactly what that marriage was between Mike Vrabel and Marcus Mariota. That's not his kind of design of quarterback. So I think Vrabel probably will be gone, if not this season, then next season if there's no significant moves or improvements done. But with what I've seen between free agency and the draft that everybody in the division did, for Tennessee to kind of just be stand back and quiet, y'all gonna ride on Derrick Henry's back again? Okay.
Good luck with that.
Basically.
And then they now, to be fair, they did take a tackle in the first round, and they took another tackle in the sixth. But
I know.
Yeah, but the tackle in the 6th round is not going to start. So what?
Well, I'm getting to that point.
No, I'm just saying. Go ahead though.
You throw a rookie tackle out there. How is he going to play against? This guy's going to have to block Will Anderson, who's drafted by the Texans. He's going to have to block Josh Allen, who plays for Jacksonville. He's got to see this guy twice a year. How's he going to hold up? I guarantee he's not going to hold up as good as Taylor Lewan would.
Not even just Josh Allen. Look at the rookie that Jacksonville drafted last year from Georgia.
Walker.
Yeah.
Walker. He had a great rookie season.
I forgot about him completely. Thank you.
And the thing is, they put. Hey, look, real quick, they played the Chargers this year, which means you got block Bosa. You got to play Miami, which means you're going against Vic Fangio's defense. You play the entire AFC North, which means Cincinnati, Baltimore's defense, Pittsburgh's defense of TJ Watt, Cleveland's defense of Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith, the entire NFC South. I mean, you got some pass rushers to block this year off the rip.
And I just don't truly believe that they're going to be able. I just don't think they're going to be able to ride Derrick Henry's back.
No, of course not.
Because this is an old dump truck that's been beat up.
Yeah,
and I still think he has tread on the tire a little bit, but what they're going to be asking him to do, he does not have the tread for.
No,
they're planning on doing
17 games either.
Yeah,
because he's going to get 350 carries again.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say too real quick. And I forgot about this. Damn the Titans, because the Titans, from what I hear from a Houston legend, they trying to wear the old school Oilers uniforms.
That's personal. That's a personal attack on the sanctity of Houston, Texas.
I got a personal issue with that. I really because when I was a kid, I was an Oilers fan. So I'm down with the Oilers, and when they moved to Tennessee, I still really didn't ride with Tennessee like that. But they had old Oilers players, so I rode with them for that Super Bowl that they was in against the Rams. But after that, in 2002, when we got our team, it was all about the Texans. But I have an issue with them, with the ownership not liking Houston and them being petty about those uniforms. Because to be honest with you, I would love for the Houston Texans to go back to Columbia blue and red, you know what I'm saying, for our new uniforms. Because we need a new change. I would love that. But I have an issue with them trying to be petty. So the Titans can be 5th or 6th in the damn division. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about them.
I know. I completely understand. I completely understand that. I know where that vitriol comes from, and because yeah. But so let's move it on. My third place team,
okay,
in the AFC South. My third place prediction is the Indianapolis Colts.
Okay,
I have the Colts at third because although Anthony Richardson is a physical specimen, although he is big, he is fast. Everybody's comping him to Cam Newton, and this, that, and the third. He is still as green as grass in the springtime in Houston. and this is the NFL. This is not Florida. Okay. Mm-hmm. And there's gonna be some mistakes made. And when you're talking about a defense as good as Jacksonville and a defense as good as Houston, along with the other defense, Brandon, who do they play? Who does the AFC South play this year?
The AFC South, like I said, played the AFC North and the NFC South. Plus, Indy plays New England. Now, I know New England's not much on offense, but you know how Bill Belichick is with rookie quarterbacks.
Defense is solid.
Yes,
it's gonna be solid.
They play. We're not worried about Indy playing the Rams. That's not worth talking about. And the Raiders, okay. Indy plays AFC North, NFC South, and they play the Patriots. So it's going to be tough for Anthony Richardson at quarterback.
And I just don't. Even though you got Darius Leonard, still got DeForest Buckner. You got some pretty good guys on defense. I don't know if that defense can continue to be the eraser of the mistakes that I think that Anthony Richardson is going to make this season. And let me be clear for those of you who are watching, be like, oh, he hating on Anthony Richardson. No, that's not what I'm saying. I think he has potential to be a really good quarterback, but right now he's green. He's kind of green. And I'm going off of what my man Tristan said, because Tristan evaluates our quarterbacks pre-draft. I do defensive backs and receivers. And I just really, really believe that he's not ready. And they're going to throw him out there. Best believe they're going to throw him out there. But
they're going to throw him out there over Gardner Minshew?
Yeah.
They have to. They have to, because honestly, you already know what Gardner Minshew is in the NFL. I mean, I'm not saying he's terrible, but he's not. From what I'm hearing, I think he's going to start week 1 anyway.
Yeah, so I think because of the how they drafted him, they're like, okay, we got to put him out there eventually. Now, Minshew might start him, right off, but they're going to throw Anthony Richardson out there because, hey, you got this first round draft pick over here on this sideline, and you got Gardner Minshew starting games. Man, we got to put some butts in the seats. Don't forget, Jim Irsay owns the Colts. Mm-hmm. He's not a very smart man. I'm sorry, he's just not. His decision making is questionable at best, and no, he gonna put pressure on the coach. Hey, you need to put him out there. Hey, Eberflus, put him out there. Hey, he's not ready. Put him out there. Okay. Bet.
Hey, Eberflus not. I mean, Eberflus
not Eberflus. I'm sorry. Eberflus was the defensive coordinator for the Colts. Then he went to. I'm
Chicago,
sorry. You're right.
Head coach.
You're right. I'm sorry. You're right, Brandon.
That's not there anymore either.
Yeah.
They got the OC from Philadelphia. And let's be honest. We don't know how he's going to be as a head coach.
Yeah.
We don't know anything about him.
And he's a first-year head coach, so he's going to have all that pressure from the front office on him. Put that kid out there. We didn't spend this draft capital on him. Put him out there. But he's not ready. Put him out there. Okay.
Right.
I mean, I think Tristan gonna back me up on that one about Anthony Richardson probably having potential, has a high ceiling, but just not ready right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and back off. Let you guys have y'all say on that. Go ahead.
All right. So Anthony Richardson does have the highest ceiling out of the 4 quarterbacks of Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Levis, and himself. Because, like you said, he's fast. I mean, now some people still kind of question 40-yard dash, even though it's 4.4. They don't see it on tape. But so let's drop it. Let's say he's a 4.5, 4.6 quarterback. That's still pretty fast for a quarterback. You have this guy who's 6'4", 6'5", 242, can throw just have a straight cannon for an arm. Yep. So, but the crucial thing is, and that's why I said we're gonna find out what kind of head coach this guy is, especially more so on offense, because he's going to really have to develop Anthony Richardson. This is crucial. The development is so crucial. You cannot sit here and miss anything. You miss something, it's not going to be good for Anthony Richardson. It's not going to be good for the Colts moving forward. So, but also I have Colts in 3rd place for not more than just what you said, Eric. But they're rebuilding. I mean, new first-year head coach, rookie quarterback. Yeah. I believe they're better than Tennessee, but they are rebuilding, and that's why I got them in 3rd place.
Yeah,
right. I agree. I have the Indianapolis Colts at 3rd, for many of the same reasons that y'all both said. I'm looking at their roster right now. I actually like a couple pieces on their roster. Jonathan Taylor is a dog at running back. But he has been hurt last year. He spent the majority of the season hurt last year. So we really don't know. I mean, hopefully he comes back. I think he has that dog in him to be able to come back, in rare form. So I think Jonathan Taylor is going to be a good piece for them. Their wide receiver core kind of troubles me because Michael Pittman is cool. Isaiah McKenzie is cool, but outside of those two guys, they really don't have a third option. They're okay. They're not great, but they're cool. Um, they really don't have anything else that really makes me say, you know what, they have a great rush. They have a pretty good defense. They have a really pretty good defense. But they don't have anything else on offensively that makes me say, you know what, I'm scared of these cats. You know what I'm saying? So
I think I'm not to cut you off, Joe, but they did bring in Josh Downs in the third round. I think they looking for him to be their third option. I think that's what that is. But go ahead. I ain't mean to cut you off.
You're right. They got Josh Downs here, but again, still, I'm not scared of them. If I'm looking at them on paper, you know, I'm not saying, you know, I'm scared of their offense and what they now. If Anthony Richardson starts to really develop, now I'm twiddling my beard a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, the AFC South is not going to be great right now, but in about 3 or 4 years, if developed right, these 4 quarterbacks can really turn this division around and really have this division, you know, being a scary sight in the AFC, to be honest with you. So, you know, I'm right now for this, since we're talking about the 2023-2024 season, I'm going to put them at number 3. I'm going to keep them at number 3 right now. And I got an idea who y'all got at number 2.
All right, Tristan, who you got number 3?
So I'm actually going to be the wild card here. I actually have Houston at number 3.
Oh, hold on.
Whoa!
I do.
All right, let's go. Talk
And
to us.
it's not a penning. It's a penciling because I'm looking at Houston. You know, DeMarco Murray. I said DeMarco Murray. Jesus, D'Amico Ryans being the new head coach. C.J. Stroud, you know, new QB. I think they added another receiver. They got Brandon Cooks out of there because he was toxic for that team. They're young and scrappy. They had a lot of games that they could have won last year. It was just like literally like a couple plays here and there that really could have put them over. So I get all that. So they should be better. Getting Will Anderson as a pass rush and all that, they should be better. The secondary should be awesome. So I'm with all of that. My issue is that I just don't trust Ohio State QBs. I gotta see it in that kind of environment
You make a good
where
point.
where you might be the best player on the field. The thing with Ohio State QBs is that the ones that were good in college and they were great in college, but they may have not been the best player on the field. Normally, it's their wide receiver or their running back that was the star of the offense, and you just needed to pilot that thing. I gotta see what it looks like when you might be the best player on the field, and that's what C.J. Stroud is going to run into being the quarterback of that current offense. Is that he might be the best player on the field. So how are you going to react when you're going against Jacksonville's defense, when you're going against the Colts defense? And you know, I still give a little respect to the Titans defense, and your tools aren't the tools that you had in Ohio State. There isn't a Marvin Harrison Jr. There isn't a Nick. There's not a big Nick, but like them guys aren't there. So I want to see what it looks like first before I can say, oh yeah, they'll be the number 2 team or whatever in the division. I just got to see it. I'm not saying I don't have faith. I believe D'Amico Ryans will do an excellent job. I believe all of that, but I'm just not sold on the offensive side of the ball just because of C.J. Stroud being there. I wish they made another move, and then I probably could have been like, okay, but nah. Until then, it's a wait and see.
All right, hold on. Wait, because I see both of y'all ready to go. Let's let Joe go.
No, Eric, go ahead.
Okay, Tristan, I understand everything that you're saying. That you make perfect sense about Ohio State quarterbacks, because I absolutely agree. Because earlier on when we were doing our
oh man,
I think Eric froze.
Yeah, Eric froze. Joe, go.
Okay, so here's the thing. I understand what you're saying about Ohio State quarterbacks. Every last one of them have been trash in the NFL that, has come in and tried to actually play the position. They've been moved them to other positions. I get it. But I don't think we can put them third just off of CJ Stroud. Not when you have the defense that you're building over there and you have the defensive mindset of a D'Amico Ryans. I get it, but it can't just be on that one person, especially when their offense is not built around a quarterback that's needed for you to actually win them games like that. When you have a Bobby Slowick, or a Shanahan offense that is very quarterback friendly, I think it's going to be set up for them to be able to, for him to not make as many mistakes.
Okay, I'm back. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay, because see, Joe's making my point before I got cut off. See, that's the point that I was making right there. That offense is geared for your quarterback to not be. You don't have to be great.
No, you don't.
In that particular
you gotta be smart.
You just got to be not stupid. You ain't got to be smart. You just got to be not stupid.
Exactly.
So if there was ever an offense that CJ Stroud could go in and be successful in, it's basically that particular offense. And because this is becoming the wave of the future, there's so many assistants that are leaving San Francisco under Shanahan, getting head coaching jobs, and then they poach offensive coordinators from San Francisco. So almost everybody's running Kyle Shanahan's scheme. And Jesus, we went to a Super Bowl with a bum like Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay,
well, not even
CJ Stroud has a way higher ceiling than a Jimmy Garoppolo. So
not even Eric. If you really look at it, CJ Stroud. One thing about CJ Stroud is that he gets spoken about completely differently than a lot of the other Ohio State quarterbacks, than Terrell Pryor, and a lot of these other guys.
No, I think he's better. No, I'm not. Yeah.
Oh, he's definitely better, but I'm saying I know the stigma is the Ohio State quarterback, right? But he gets spoken about in a different light than all of the other ones that have come out that have been trash. You know what I'm saying? It's different. They don't speak about how accurate those guys were as opposed to what CJ Stroud is. So I think it's completely. I don't think he would have been drafted as high if they actually thought that stigma meant something with him.
Somebody get Eric James off of here. Eric James over here tripping. I know. Put that last comment up. That's funny. He said the last good Ohio State quarterback was Shane Falco in The Replacements. If you haven't seen that movie, John Wick was a quarterback. So
classic.
But yeah.
Okay, look. And Trisha, I trust you when it comes to Ohio State. I mean, when it comes to college quarterbacks. Who is better? CJ Stroud versus Braxton Miller, or versus Terrell Pryor, or versus Cardale Jones. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm going with this?
Justin Fields.
Or Justin Fields. So, and look, they're going to run the ball. They got Damian Pierce at running back. Mm-hmm. They are going to run the ball. So they're not going to put
that scheme is
they're not going to put the ball 100% in his hands and say, I'm going to have you go out here immediately and try to be Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to have you go out here and be prime Russell Wilson. I'm going to need you to go out here and be whoever the best of best at quarterback. You see what I'm saying? Boom, turn up, hand the ball to the left, outside zone left. Boom, hand the ball to the right, outside zone to the right. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Eric James. That's the other one I couldn't think of. JT Barrett. So so I think CJ Stroud is the best quarterback to come out of Ohio State since, I'm not going there with Shane Falco, but since probably a long time. And like Eric and Joe was saying, being that Kyle Shanahan related offense, if there's an offense to go to, this is it. I'm not putting you in Eric Coryell offense. I'm putting you in the Shanahan offense.
They have the ability in Houston to run the ball and play defense. So your quarterback does not have to be the savior. And again, this is a wide open division. So that kind of segues into my number 2 pick was basically my number 2 pick for the division is the Houston Texans because of those reasons it was a great segue how Tristan was talking about how he picked Houston to be 3 and why we believe Houston is going to be the number 2 team in this division. Because No, Joe Burrow don't count. But I saw your the comment, Eric.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, he started at Ohio State, but I see him more as the LSU Tiger than Ohio State quarterback.
yes, he'll forever be an LSU Tiger. He won a title as a Tiger. So, but basically, those reasons that we're arguing, and don't get me wrong, I think Tristan, we lost him for a second. He'll be back. He'll be back. But those points Tristan made were spot on. However, because of the system that he's in, the fact that Houston is going to run the ball and they're going to play some defense. D'Amico Ryans is a defensive genius. And here's the thing. A lot of people are not looking at about the Houston Texans. D'Amico Ryans is not building that defense from the ground up. He inherited some really good pieces. This is not like, oh, they was 32nd in defense and now D'Amico Ryans is there. No, sir. No, sir. Their defense, it doesn't show in a lot of the games because, you know, you had Nectamus Prime throwing all in picks.
Davis
Mills, you know, and you got the defense playing with a short field and giving up scores. But if you really sit down and watch the Texans games this season, you sit there going, hey, man, this defense is kind of good. That was Lovie Smith. That defense is kind of good. So he's not starting. D'Amico Ryans is not starting from ground zero trying to build a skyscraper. Okay? He is inherited some pieces. Then they had a masterful draft that these guys hit like we think they're going to hit. Hey, man, they just brought in Shaquille Griffin in free agency for the Seattle Seahawks. You got Stingley and Griffin on either side. You got Jimmy Ward playing safety, who's a fringe Pro Bowler.
Yeah,
and then you got
I was going to say he's teamed up with Peachy, who's going into a second year of safety. I mean,
yes, sir.
That secondary is nice.
But the defense as a whole is already decent, and you got someone like a D'Amico Ryans coming in there, and I'm gonna just take it to another level. So again, third reason, this division is wide open. There was only a 1-game difference between Houston and the Colts last year. There was only a 4-game difference between them and the Titans. I think Houston can win 4 more games and overtake the Titans. The Titans are not going to be good, and I think they can. I said this off the air before we started the show, and we in the green room. I think Houston is going to split with Jacksonville and probably sweep Tennessee, Indianapolis, and get second place in that division, and quite possibly get a wild card depending on how their other games go. So, yeah, and that's not because I'm from Houston or nothing like that. It's not even about that. It's about being real. Because y'all know me, well, you guys know me. The people that do know me, they know if it's trash, I'm gonna say it's trash. And right now, they got they got a good foundation to build on. They got a good coaching staff, and now they have their quarterback, their edge rusher, and already some good defensive pieces. So, and go second place team. I think y'all know what y'all gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, second place. I mean, Houston. I mean, it's almost nothing else to really add. Because we talked about the quarterback, we talked about the system. I mentioned the running back. You know, outside zone left, outside zone right. You drafted defensive end Will Anderson to get after the quarterback. You got 4 DBs that's going to probably clamp down on a lot of receivers this year and surprise people. I mean. Houston, they'll be fine next year. Go out there and drive yourself a WR1 and keep it moving. Just go ahead and keep it moving. You got a future. You really do have a future. Like you say, you have a great foundation. I ain't got nothing else to really add, Joe.
Well, thank you. I'll take the floor. So looking at the Texans, right? I got the Texans at number 2. I think, you know, Jacksonville obviously is going to be number 1 and I'm thinking about what they did last year. Okay. Jacksonville could easily take a very big step back and not win the division. And the Texans could actually wind up winning the division at number 1. Reason why I'm saying that is because if I'm looking at the Texans right now and I'm putting up their I'm gonna start with their depth chart, right? The strongest part of the Texans team next year is their defense, and the strongest part of their defense are they safeties with Jimmy Ward and Jalen Petrie, right? Uh, they just brought in like Eric said, they just brought in
Shaquille Griffin.
Shaquille Griffin, as a corner. You got Denzel Perryman, coming in at backer. You got Jerry Hughes, who's gonna be able to, really help Will Anderson as a veteran edge rusher. You know what I'm saying? Help him out. Uh, Sheldon Rankins is coming back into his 2018 form with the when he was with the New Orleans Saints.
Okay.
He's trying to get back to that form as a DT. Christian Harris, Christian Kirksey. We got some good linebackers, man. The running back on the offensive side of the ball, Dalton Schultz is going to be C.J. Stroud's saving grace next year.
Yes.
As a tight end.
He has good hands.
Really, really great hands. The offensive line, I love the moves that they've made. Locking in Laramie Tunsil, Kenyon Green, getting Juice Scruggs at number 3. As their third pick that they picked, Shaq Mason, Titus Howard. Love the offensive line. I think the offensive line, the more they play together, the more they gel. They're going to be fine for CJ in their running game, and the running game that they got between Damian Pierce and Devin Singletary. My only issue and the only weak spot for the Texans next year is the wide receiver position. And the reason why it's going to be a weak spot for us is because we basically have 3 rookie wide receivers. John Mechie is basically a rookie to me because he didn't play last year. So you got John Mechie, you got Xavier with Tank Dell, and you got Xavier Hutchinson. I like Xavier Hutchinson. I really love Tank Dell. I think Tank Dell is going to be a fan favorite at some point in time. But John Mechie, I think he has the potential to be a legit number 1. We just don't know. Brandon, I remember we had a conversation about Noah Brown. Noah Brown is not bad. He had about 555 receiving yards last year with Dallas. Whenever Michael Gallup was out, he was a good wide receiver to be able to, throw to in the slot. So he'll be fine. Robert Woods, they'll do what they do. Nico Collins is my issue because now Nico Collins cannot hide behind Davis Mills. Nico Collins is going to have to step up as a wide receiver now and be their number 1, or he got to go. And my opinion is I think the Texans need to do whatever they can to draft Marvin Harrison Jr. next year.
Yes.
To pair him with for C.J. Stroud.
Man.
They got to do whatever they can. The reason I say that, putting that all together, right? If you look at the Texans roster, not the roster, but the schedule. If you look at the Texans schedule, right? We got Baltimore at week 1. So the Texans probably going to lose to Baltimore. So they're going to be 0-1. I think they can sneak up and beat Indianapolis. So they'll be 1-1. Jacksonville, they'll probably lose. So they'll be 1-2. Pittsburgh, they'll lose 1-3. Atlanta, I think they can beat. So they'll be 2-3. New Orleans, they'll probably lose to New Orleans. So they'll probably be 2-4. They have a bye week at week 7. We come back off that bye week. This one's going to be circled because it's going to be number 1 and number 2. Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud going at it. So I think we can beat Carolina and Tampa Bay. So I think us being 2-4, I think that puts us at 500. After the Tampa Bay, I think we lose to Cincinnati, which puts us at 4-5. I think we can beat Arizona, and we'll beat Jacksonville the second go round. So that'll probably put us at maybe I think after Arizona, Jacksonville, Denver, and New York, the Jets, I think we'll be at 7-6. After the Jets, we'll be at 7-6. Now, after that, the last 4 games of the season are Tennessee, Cleveland, Tennessee, and Indianapolis. If we're 7-6 after the Jets, which I got us losing to the Jets, I got us beating Jacksonville, Denver, and I got us losing to the Jets. At 7-6, those last 4 games are gonna either put us at 9-8, 8-9, or 10-7. And I think with that record,
You can win the
that can
division.
that can easily put us at number 1 winning that division. So that's why that's where I have the Texans now, because if you got Tennessee twice, Cleveland, they can actually go above 10-7, because they can beat Tennessee twice. They can beat Cleveland. Cleveland's not going to be good next year because they're not beating Cincinnati. They're not beating the Ravens. And I don't really know what their schedule is, but I don't trust a lot of the moves that Cleveland just made, and I don't really trust Deshaun Watson in their system. I really just don't. I think Deshaun Watson's talent is going to be able to get them a little bit, move the needle a little bit, but I don't trust Deshaun Watson in that system. So I think the Texans can easily, win that division at 10-7, but I got them right now at best 9-8, midway 8-9, at worst the Texans are 7-10 next year. So I think that teeters between 1 and 2 for me. Sorry to be so long with it, but
No, you good. You good. You brought up some good stuff. I forgot you guys brought in Denzel Perriman to be your middle linebacker, and you got Singletary to be your other running back. I mean, that just makes life so much easier for CJ Stroud, a running back. Robert Woods and Noah Brown are also good blocking wide receivers, and that's perfect for that outside zone stretch. Your running backs are going to average at least 4.5 to 4.7 yards a carry easily, being in that system. I mean, and your offensive line is good. I mean, you guys, you just need to find out what's going on at wide receiver, like you said. I agree. And then I guess we can move on to Jacksonville being number 1. I think all 3 of us have them. Mm-hmm. And, you're right. Jacksonville could slide. Here's a real good reason why Jacksonville could slide. Jacksonville, because they won the division, they have to play some number 1 teams outside of the AFC North and the NFC South. They have to play San Francisco, okay, who's a top 3 team in the NFC. You got to play Super Bowl champions Kansas City Chiefs. And
I'm sorry, I'm just coming to class late, Mr. Williams. What are we talking
about? We just now moved on to Jacksonville number 1, and I'm saying, and even though Jacksonville number 1, I got my reasons why Jacksonville could slide to number 2, and I said because they play y'all, who you guys are top 3 team in the NFC.
If we healthy, we beating Jacksonville.
Right. You play Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs.
That's gonna be a good game.
And then you play against a team in the AFC East who didn't do too much in offseason to move the needle in Buffalo. So depending on how you're doing those 3 games, outside of all the other games that's like pretty much the same, you're going to have the hardest time maintaining. And you're going to have to win at least 2 of those games to probably win that division. You have to win 2 of those games, and you're going to have to definitely, at worst, split with Houston. Because if you lose both games to Houston and you go 1 and 2 against those 3 teams I just named, Houston could win this division based off what Joe just said.
No doubt. That's why it's like I have Houston as a safe pick to be number 2 and quite possibly getting the 7th pick. Excuse me, not 7th pick, the 7th spot in the playoffs, being that last wild card. But 1 game goes, but 1 or 2 games goes a different way. Houston can win that division. You got to play. You got to factor in injuries. Let's say Trevor Lawrence stubs his big toe, and he's out. He out for 2 weeks.
He's out for 5-6 weeks,
and then he got to play Houston. Houston gonna win that game. So we
don't even know who Jacksonville's backup is.
Right. So that's why this is such a wide open division. That's why there's so much conversation to be had about this division. The next week when we go to the NFC South, it's gonna be a lot of conversation there. There's some divisions where it's like, man, it's a 2-team race, but this division is wide open. Like Tennessee might make all us look stupid by the end of the season. We saying what we saying, you know. Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson can say, "Screw all you guys. I'm ready to play the NFL right now, and I'm going to show you." You know that could happen. So it's a wide open division. This division is going to be won by no more than 3 games. The difference between number 1 and number 2 is probably going to be 3 games or less.
To be honest with you, I want the Texans to be good next year because our pick goes to the Arizona Cardinals, right? So with our pick gone, I really want us to be good. I don't want us to be trash next year because we need that Cleveland pick to be trash. That's what we need. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I said, that's one step closer to doing a Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase situation with Cincinnati and bringing in Marvin Harrison Jr. for C.J. Stroud. So
and then you're gonna have problems because your defense is probably gonna be better the second year.
Exactly.
The defense is gonna be good this year, but it's
D'Amico Ryan's not having it, man. D'Amico here, and I hear what you're saying, but D'Amico Ryan's is finna to win some games this year. He really is.
Just off sheer defense alone.
Yeah.
There's gonna be a couple of turnovers. Houston's gonna produce late in games. It's gonna turn games around for him. So
yes.
But yeah, Tristan just texted me. He has for his number 2, he has the Indianapolis Colts. And his number 1, he has the Jacksonville Jaguars. So we're consensus on who's going to win the division, but we are split on who's going to be second in the division.
Yeah.
But the majority says Houston is going to be second in the division. And I think that's feasible. I think those of you who are watching right now, I think y'all pretty much probably feel the same way too. Yeah, man. I'm really interested in watching how the AFC South is going to shake this season because there's so many unknowns. You have these probabilities, but then you have all these unknowns because that could be one variable. We could be wrong about one variable, and it could completely flip everything upside down.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many variables, but there's one. It could be 10 variables, and we'd be wrong about one of those 10.
Yep.
And it completely flip everything around in that division because it's just so wide open.
Yes.
So yeah. That's all I got, man. This is a good show, man. We did it in less than an hour.
Yeah, less than an hour. Eric, James, we're gonna discuss NFC South, and so we will give more thoughts on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We're not gonna get into that too much tonight, but catch us next week.
Man, Eric might be on here next week. We don't know.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. So
to close it out, because there's a lot of people that came on late that were watching. So our series, this was number 1 in our 8-week series. We're covering division by division, and we're gonna invite a guest on who's a fan of one of the teams, or maybe multiple guests who's of different teams in the divisions that we're discussing. If you'd like to be on Just a Fan podcast with us, inbox us on our Facebook page. Contact us via TikTok. We do have a TikTok page. I'll be cutting a promo sometime this week about it. We want to hear from you. We want to invite guests on to come talk about their teams, talk about what they know. Again, you gotta know what you're talking about. We coming in here talking about we good. We going 17-0. We're gonna mute you and then we're gonna kick you off. So, but you gotta know be prepared to defend your position with some knowledgeable points when you come on. But we're opening up. It's more than just a viewer's choice in the chat box. If you want to come on the show and talk about your team, next week is the AFC South. We know how
NFC South.
NFC South. And we know how Saints fans and Falcons fans get on. And we love to see that. Carolina fans, you're welcome to come on in too. Who else in the South? Oh, Lord. Tampa Bay. I just completely drew a blank on that one. But if you'd like to become part of our show for that week that we discuss your team, just inbox us. Hey, I'm such and such, and I want to come on during AFC South. We just did that. AFC West. Okay. And we'll talk about it. We'll see. But first of all, like I said, I'd like to say thank you to my man Joe Polk for coming on the show tonight. You gave some really good points. You know your stuff. Joe is basically what we're looking for when we have fans come on the show.
Yes.
You know what you're talking about. He was spitting
Yes.
real.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. He knew he
Yes.
loved his team, but he was realistic about it, and he had
Yes.
points to support everything that he said.
Yes.
So thank you, Joe, for being on the show.
Hey, look, B, Eric, I thank y'all for, giving me the opportunity to come in and just, spit my knowledge. I love sports as the second, my second passion besides music. So, I definitely love for y'all giving me the opportunity to come out and, not only speak about that, but speak about my team, nonetheless. So appreciate y'all brothers for that, man.
Hey, man, thank you. So, as we get ready to close today, don't forget we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts,
and Google Podcasts.
Google Podcasts.
Google, no, you had to write Google, Apple, and Spotify.
Google and Apple. We are on a lot of platforms, y'all. We all over the place. We are not hard to find. If you look up Just a Fan Podcast, you're gonna find us just about everywhere.
Because guess what? You can also follow us on IG, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook. We are currently live on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook.
So we're just fans, and we know you are too. So let's talk about some football.
And Joe's just a fan as well, because he is a fan. So, Joe, thanks again for stopping by, being on our show tonight. This week representing the AFC South and the Houston Texans. Down below, Eric, the defensive-minded guy on this thing. He hits harder than Ronnie Lott.
If you ain't pissed off for greatness, then you okay with being mediocre.
He's from the same city as Scarface, Rap-A-Lot Records.
Hey.
There you go. All right, Coach Williams right here. You know it. The Wildcat quarterback that runs this thing, the NFL Encyclopedia. You know it. Good night, y'all. See you next week. NFC South. It might be good.